all you haters out there, fuck you. This is not a fucking hobby. You're listening to the most relevant sports show on the internet. He's a combat veteran turned entrepreneur turned sports journalist. And she has an IQ higher than your entire family combined. It's the S3, and it starts right now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the S3 podcast. I am JD alongside Ms. Lady M, fresh off winning last week's Golden Bragger Award after going 5-1 with her picks. You got the trophy behind you?
Yeah, it's back there somewhere.
There it is. All right. Yeah, you went 5-1, and I picked opposite every single game. So we'll just leave it at that. We've got, as always, horrible dad jokes, NFL divisional round breakdowns, DFS lineups. We're going to do a temperature check on the Suns. And yes, of course, Nailed It is back. You actually nailed it last week.
Yeah, I finally got one.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Like the third time ever.
That was pretty good. Today's episode of the S3 podcast is brought to you by Sports Media X, the training ground for sports fans who want to turn their passion into a legit sports media brand. If you've ever wondered or wanted to start a podcast, cover your favorite team, shoot games as media, or build real credibility in sports content, Sports Media X shows you exactly how, step by step, no degree, no connections, no massive following required. You'll learn how to build your brand, create content that gets noticed, and even request media credentials the right way. If you're serious about sports media, this is where it starts. Check out Sports Media X and start building your path into the game. Go to coachjeffdemers.com/media to reserve your seat for the next available class. Lots of stuff in the news for the sports world. How about Jim Harbaugh going to the New York Giants?
It's going to be really, really good for the Giants because on top of Jackson Dart, and they're going to get Cam Scatterwell back sometime early next year.
Yeah.
They're going to be dangerous next year. I think they're going to be a team to look out for.
Not to mention Malik Neighbors should be back and healthy next year as well.
Right.
So that offense is going to look really good. The defense has always been decent.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Also in NFL news, Mike Tomlin, after 19 seasons, has decided to step away from the NFL. He has stepped down as head coach of the Steelers. So, I mean, look at it this way. All right. If you're an Arizona Cardinals fan this season, don't pick up a new head coach. How about that? I don't care who you put in. Like, have Jacoby Brissett be your head coach. I know that's stupid, but we just need a fill-in so that way when Tomlin decides to come back next season,
we can snag him.
Maybe we can get him here in the Valley.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty damn good head coach. Never had a losing season as the head coach of the Steelers. But here's the thing. It's going to work out basically the same way that Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos did. I don't know if you know this or remember this, but Sean Payton, when he signed with the Broncos, he was still under contract with the New Orleans Saints. Mm-hmm. So if Mike Tomlin decides to come back before his contract ends, though he's already said he's pretty much not coming back in 2026.
Yeah.
So if he comes back next season and the Arizona Cardinals can somehow just fill somebody in that spot without actually picking up like Kubiak or somebody that's going to be here for a minute, I would love to see Mike Tomlin here. But just like Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos, the Broncos gave up a first-round pick and a second-round pick for him. I mean, to me, that'd be worth it for the Cardinals. Give up two picks, your first 2 picks for next season.
If you're making that comparison, all you have to do is look at where the Broncos sit this year to see how well it paid off.
Right.
So
let's do that.
Yeah.
Like we're diehard Patriots fans. I'm from the Boston area, actually born and raised in Roxbury.
I would like to see the local team
Yeah.
Not
Can we
boys
get-
drowning in the shallow end, though.
We get a little bit of excitement here in the Valley of the Sun.
Some laps.
The Suns are playing pretty good, but the Suns usually play pretty good and then phase out at the end.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about them here in a minute. But, like, if we could get Mike Tomlin, I'm not saying that, like, Vance Joseph, the current defensive coordinator of the Broncos, wouldn't be a good fit. I mean, he's had opportunities as a head coach before, but he does have that experience as a head coach. So Vance Joseph wouldn't be bad. I know Kubiak up in Seattle is a name that's being thrown around.
I mean, heck, if they had gotten Harbaugh, that would have been something.
I mean, everybody wanted Harbaugh, but the problem was Harbaugh didn't want everybody. Like, not with a short list of teams he was willing to talk to, and basically nailed it with the first one that he went to. So there's that. Other news in NASCAR fans. We are big NASCAR fans. I'm a Kyle Busch fan. You are a Alex, your guy.
Bowman.
Thank you. From the beautiful state of Arizona. You're a big Bowman fan because I told you to. That's basically how you got into NASCAR. When we really got around NASCAR, I said you have to pick a racer to cheer for. Like, that's the only way that it's worth it.
He forbid me from picking the same driver as him.
You can't pick the same driver. That's the rule. We have to maintain any great relationship, which we have, is built off of love and competition. So, like, we have to have that. Every great relationship should be a competitive relationship, especially when it comes down to sports fans. However, again, we are both pretty big Boston fans. So we do cheer that route, but because we live in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, we also cheer for the teams that give us media credentials.
Right.
So it's kind of important to the success of our brand.
Right.
With that being said, local team news, the Arizona Diamondbacks picked up one of the best defensive third baseman of all time in Nolan Arenado. He's also got his Silver Slugger Award. I mean, he's got 10 Gold Glove awards. He's also got 6 Platinum Gloves award, which isn't just the best defender at third base. That's the best overall defender in the entire league, and he did it 6 times. Numerous time All-Stars, Silver Slugger awards. This is a solid pickup for the Diamondbacks. Can't wait to see where he's going to fit. I'm thinking he's going to be in the number 3 spot behind, obviously, Ketel Marte and Corbin. Corbin and Marte, they rotate who's first, who's second based on who the starting pitchers is, but those are usually the top 2. Put Perdomo in the back at the 9th spot, even though he's a solid bat, all-star. I think that, like, that's his spot to be able to turn around the lineup and turn it back to the other all-stars. So it's going to be fun. There's still a lot of gaps, especially in the bullpen, that it doesn't look like the Diamondbacks are going to have an answer for. So I'm optimistic for this season, but I'm cautiously optimistic knowing the fact that eventually our starting pitchers will have to turn the ball over to the bullpen. And so with that, all right, what is first?
Horrible dad joke of the week.
The horrible dad joke of the week. Everybody loves dad jokes. You're fooling yourself if you say you don't. Actually, I can understand why you wouldn't. But here's the question. Why did the man get fired from the orange juice factory?
No idea.
Lack of concentration. You OJ drinkers out there, you get that one. All right, what's next?
NFL playoffs divisional round.
Let's start it off with Saturday because, well, that's when the first games are. Saturday, 2:30 p.m. our time here in the beautiful state of Arizona on CBS. It is Bills at Broncos. So let's look into how they got here. Well, the Broncos are here after securing the number 1 seed in the AFC and a first round bye. So they've just been patiently waiting to see kind of who they've been playing, and they drew the Bills. The Bills are here after defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road by the score of 27-24. This was the Buffalo Bills' first road playoff win in 33 years.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have the big red wall this year blocking them either.
Yeah, no Mahomes. No
So I guess
Mahomes taking them down.
they got to get that one in there at least.
Well, that's why they're saying it's either this year or a bust for Josh Allen, because there's a lot of obstacles that were taken down
Right.
that used to be in his way.
Right.
Unfortunately, oh, by the way, there may be a team in New England that
something to say about
they may have to travel to if they can pull out the win in Denver, and that's a big if.
It is.
Allen showed why he is one of the greats as he threw for 273 yards and a touchdown while also rushing for 2 touchdowns. He has basically taken the entire Buffalo Bills team and just literally put them on his back, and like they willed the way to win. So Bills wide receiver Khalil Shakir led the team in receptions and yards, taking in 12 catches for 82 yards on 12 targets, while the Bills defense only got to Trevor Lawrence for 1 sack. They had 9 pass deflections and 2 interceptions. They did allow 154 yards on the ground as the Jags averaged over 6 yards per carry. And for some reason, they went away from that in the second half. I do not understand why they did that. But they did, and that was a nail in their coffin. They decided. Now, Christian Kirk had one hell of a day or not Christian Kirk. He's on the Texans. The receiving core, let's just say that had a pretty good day with Jacoby Myers. But they went to the air too much. They should have stayed on the ground. Denver has the slight edge at home with the spread as a current minus 1.5 point favorite. Weather looks like it'll be in the upper 40s, partly cloudy for the game. Injuries for this game. Buffalo has ruled out safety Jordan Poyer with a hamstring injury and cornerback Maxwell Hairston with an ankle injury for this game. Running back Ty Johnson with an ankle injury was a limited participant for today's practice. His first practice of the week. He is still listed as questionable for Saturday. The Broncos are mostly healthy. Broncos linebacker Dre Greenlaw with a hamstring injury and defensive lineman John Franklin Myers practiced yesterday. We did not see the updated report for today. We're on the same time zone as them, so it hasn't been released yet. Greenlaw was a limited participant, and JFM was a full participant, I believe. Yeah, it's updated. They practiced today, so that's good news. Now, let's go ahead and instead of going through all the games and then doing our picks, let's pick this one pick at a time. And not only are we going to pick the winners, we're going to pick the scores for this game. I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult on you because I'm tired of you kicking my ass on my show, our show. So you get the first pick. Who do you have winning this game, the Denver Broncos or?
I think the Broncos are gonna have this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be another real high scoring game. I don't know why it's gonna turn, like my gut says, punch out, so like 34-30.
I'm thinking that
it's gonna be up there.
The Bills have way too many injuries at wide receiver. I think they only have like 3 healthy wide receivers on the roster.
Yeah.
They do lean a lot on their tight ends. Dalton Kincaid is still questionable for this game. You do have Knox.
The Broncos are at home and they're rested on a bye week, and
it is Mile High, so oxygen
is going to be a real issue. I think
could be
an ugly game for the Bills.
I know the Bills. I think the Bills are already up there practicing. Either that or they fly out tomorrow. But usually you try to get at least one practice in,
right?
In that weather. But we'll see. All right. So you've got Denver. I've got Denver. So what's the final score going to be in this game?
I went 34-30. I think it's going to be really high I don't know why.
Really high.
I feel like they're going to turn into a punch out and just almost forget about defense. So they're both going to be.
See, it's really interesting that you said that. So I think that the Buffalo Bills will struggle in their coverage of Denver running backs, mostly named RJ Harvey. I don't know why teams go away from the rush in the second half. The Patriots did the same thing when they lost to them later in the season. So why go away from the rush? So I see Denver winning this game, but I'm going to say it's going to be a little lower scoring. I'm going to say 24. I'm going to say 24-17. I'm going to say that Denver covers at home, and Buffalo struggles but does try to come back in the second half. But they lose by a score, and Denver moves on to the AFC Championship game. So 24-17 is mine. All right. Next game up, we've got Saturday night's game. This will be a really good game. 49ers at the very well-rested Seattle Seahawks. How'd they get here? Well, again, the Seahawks are number one seed in the NFC and earned a bye in the first round. The 49ers defeated the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles on the road during Wild Card weekend. They outscored Philly 13-3 in the final quarter to take a 4-point lead and the eventual win. Christian McCaffrey had 2 rushing touchdowns for the 49ers. Demarcus Robinson led San Francisco with 11 receptions. 6 receptions. Got my yards out. Didn't put the yards in there, but he had a lot of yards. It was like 117 or something like that. San Francisco's defense held the Eagles to just 2 field goals in the second half. The spread in this game, Seattle is favored at home by a full 7 points. Game time temps should be around 49 degrees and partly cloudy. Really? Cloudy in Washington? Injuries. As far as injuries go, San Francisco has already ruled out safety Jair Brown with a hamstring and linebacker Fred Warner with an ankle. Warner is on track, hopefully, to come back if the 49ers can make it to the NFC Championship game.
And we know Kittle's out.
Kittle's definitely out.
Snapped us.
Questionable are wide receivers Ricky Pearsall with a knee injury and linebackers Luke Gifford and linebacker D. Winters. Wide receiver Jacob Cowling is also listed as questionable with a hamstring. Pearsall, Gifford, and Winters were all limited participants, so they did get some type of work in at today's practice. For Seattle, Sam Darnold actually popped up on the injury report today with an oblique injury, according to a quote on SeattleTimes.com and an article by Tim Booth. Darnold said, quote, "In routes on air, felt a little something in my oblique and didn't want to push it. Wasn't the day to push it." Darnold said that was it. Came inside, got some rehab, and feel like I'll be ready to go for Saturday. It sounds like he's not worried about it, but this is the first time he's ever popped up with an oblique issue. Darnold actually hasn't missed a game due to injury in a couple years.
Yeah.
So he's not one of those injury-prone type of guys. Sounds like he just tweaked it, and they're taking precaution. The only other player Seattle has actually ruled out is backup offensive tackle Josh Jones with a knee injury. So they, as a starting squad, should be good to go.
Strong. Yeah.
On that, let's get our picks in and final scores. Go ahead. You are up, Miss Lady M.
As much as I love saying Christian McCaffrey deserves a ring on his finger, which I still believe, I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think it might get a little ugly. My gut check was 17-3. I don't know why. That's where I went with it, but I definitely think it's going to be the Seahawks.
I think, yes, they're missing Kittle, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. So I'm going to be in the 20s again. I'm going to say 27.
Well, but who are you picking?
Hold on.
Okay.
27-23 in favor of the Seahawks.
All right. I think the Hawks are going to do very well.
I think Christian McCaffrey's actually, even though Seattle's rush defense is amazing, they don't do very well against tight ends with their linebacker coverage.
Damn near single-handedly won that first playoff game.
I think he's going to be used. I think he's going to be used a lot more through the air. Linebackers are great stuffing the run, but as far as coverage goes against tight ends and running backs out of the backfield, they're average at best. So I think they'll use McCaffrey more out of the backfield, get a lot of screens going, put him out at a wide receiver position, and try and take advantage of that. Also, again, you already mentioned it, Kittle's out. Look for Tungus to actually have a good game.
Yeah.
Again, Seattle's a really good defense, but they're average when it comes to covering tight ends. So
Right.
for Tungus, who has one start, he did score a touchdown. He had like 6 catches or something like that, 7 catches and like 60 yards and a touchdown in his only start in week 17. So they are showing it. I think they threw to him like 8 or 9 times that game. He caught 7. I think I'm close on that. It may be right on or extremely close on those stats. But should be a good game. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow San Francisco pulls this off, but I'm not doing what I did last week and try and be the guy that picks the underdog in every game. Even though I did pick the Rams, that was my one win.
Yeah. They weren't really the underdog in that game, though.
Well, in my defense, I really have no defense outside of the fact that as a Patriots fan, I hate picking the Patriots for anything. Like, I don't put money on them. I try to stay away from putting them on my DFS teams. Yeah. Not because I don't think they're good or hope that they're going to be good. It's that I'm trying to like use some reverse psychology on like the universe. Like, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Yeah. So I don't usually do that.
I get you.
Speaking of the Pats, first game Sunday, the Houston Texans, who dominated last week, head up to Gillette Stadium to take on the Patriots. How'd we get here? The Patriots are the number 2 seed in the AFC and held on to their right to host another home game with their victory against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday. The game was, by all accounts, a mostly defensive game on both sides. The Pats held the Chargers to just a field goal on the day. The Patriots kicker Andy Borregales went 3 for 3 on field goal attempts. Fourth quarter touchdown reception by Hunter Henry from Drake May helped New England pull away at the end for the 16-3 victory. Houston, on the other hand, went into halftime with a slim 7-6 lead on the road against the Steelers, but a strong 23-point fourth quarter turned the game into a blowout, with the final being 30-6. Not only did they blow them out, but they forced Mike Tomlin and potentially even Aaron Rodgers into retirement. So, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin again decided to call it quits for now as he leaves the Steelers following his 19th season as head coach of the franchise. Statistically, for Houston, C.J. Stroud had a solid day, 250 yards, touchdown. He did have a pick. But it was a rushing attack of Woody Marks and Nick Chubb that gave the Steelers defense the biggest problems. Marks would finish with 119 yards and a touchdown on the day, while Chubb, the older veteran, had 48 yards on 10 carries. So he averaged almost 5 yards a carry. And while most eyes were on Nico Collins at the wide receiver spot, it was actually Christian Kirk who had a big game with 8 receptions, 144 yards, and a score. Defensively, the Texans got to Aaron Rodgers for 4 sacks and, again, the interception. The spread in this game, New England is actually favored by 3 points at home. Game time temps will be around 39 degrees with rain expected, but not until the early evening hours. So they may be able to get the full game in without the rain. Injuries. New England cornerback Christian Gonzalez was listed in concussion protocol still, but was a full participant at practice today. Houston wide receiver Nico Collins, also in concussion protocol, did not participate in practice today. Also, Houston cornerback Kamari Lassiter, both knee and ankle issues, was a limited participant today. So that's actually good news. He did get some work in. And Houston linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, with his knee issues, was a limited participant today as well. So I don't know if Nico Collins is going to be out there for this game, but they really didn't need him last week. I'm not saying you can easily just write off the loss of Nico Collins if he can't play, because he is a huge part of that offense. He is the best wide receiver, probably top 5 wide receiver, arguably, in the entire league when he's healthy. But he may not play this week. So who you got? I mean, I know who you got, but who's the score?
Well, both of these teams have pretty wicked defenses that they've shown off in the beginning of the playoffs already. So obviously the Patriots, but I have them at 14-9.
14-9. So you're giving Houston.
It's still kind of a higher in the score level, but I think they're going to be much lower scoring than some of the other games.
Yeah, I can see like Houston's defense is going to be a problem.
Oh yeah.
But that front, man, that front four, like I am just impressed with the youth and how fast that front four is. As a diehard New England Patriots fan, I'm going to say the Houston Texans pull this one off. I'm going to say the Texans pull this game off. Again, trying to use a little bit of reverse psychology. I don't like to bet even on, like, if Borealis is going to have 2 or more field goals in this game. Like, you know me, the fans know me. Like, I love my Patriots. Born and raised there, been a Pats fan since 1985, which, by the way, I do want to mention. The stars are still aligning. This may be like the 40th anniversary.
You know, that's my secret thing I'm voting for in my heart.
The Bears and the
Patriot Bears.
Yeah, like, awesome. Why not?
That would be.
Why not? But awesome. I'm gonna take Houston, and
okay.
I'm gonna say that the score is. I think the Pats. I like the 13 pick. I'm gonna say the score is gonna be 17-13 in favor of Houston, and I hope I'm wrong. But I'm going to try and, again, use a little reverse psychology for the universe. Again, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. So we'll see what that happens. Let's look at the next game, Sunday night's game, Rams at Bears. So how did they get here? The Rams went on the road to defeat the Carolina Panthers by a close score of 34-31 in what was arguably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion, as the two teams traded shots from the beginning of the second quarter till the end. It would be Stafford finding Parkinson for the go-ahead score late in the fourth quarter. Stafford threw for 304, 3 touchdowns, did have the slight blemish of the 1 interception.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua led the Rams with 10 interceptions and a score, as I would expect. He is arguably the best, not just the best wide receiver, but maybe the most important offensive player for any team in the entire NFL. Bears, on the other hand, were all but written off at halftime, trailing at home at a score of 21-3. They earned their right to host as the number 2 seed in the NFC. After a couple field goals by Cairo Santos in the third and early fourth quarters to close the lead to 21-9, the Bears finally found the end zone and a 6-yard rush by DeAndre Swift to cut it into the Packers. At this point in the game, I was looking at you and I was like, is this really
actually happening right now?
To blow a 21-3 lead. Well, yes, Green Bay,
the Bears,
even though they would get their only points of the second half on a 23-yard pass to Matthew Golden from Jordan Love. This made the score 27-16 with just over 6.5 minutes to go. You have an 11-point lead in the playoffs with 6 minutes to go.
6 minutes on the clock.
I mean, come on. Then Caleb Williams found Olamide Zaccheaus, or however you pronounce that, for an 8-yard strike with 4:18 remaining. And then they added another touchdown with just 1:43 remaining in the game. This time it was a 25-yard pass from Caleb Williams.
Whatever was said in that locker room during halftime, they came out a different team.
This is the Bears' MO, though. This has happened all year where
they're good end half.
Like, the second half, they just turn it up. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do it against the Rams because the Bears' secondary, like, I just don't see how they're going to be able to, like, lock down Puka and Devontae and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum and Parkinson and Allen and Matthew Stafford in general, who should be, even though my vote goes to Drake May, Matthew Stafford should be the NFL MVP, even though he's got a lot more to work with than Drake May does. My vote would go to Matthew Stafford for that. So the spread in this game, the Rams are favored on the road. They are the only road dog to be favored at 3.5 points currently. Game time temps will be a frosty 18 degrees on a partly cloudy evening up in Chicago. Injuries, according to BearsWire.com for Chicago DB, Nick McLeod has posted his second straight DNP, did not practice today. Limited participants were wide receiver DJ Moore with a knee and wide receiver Rome Odunze with a foot. Nothing major on the Rams side. I expect both DJ Moore and Odunze to be playing on Sunday night. All right, our picks and final scores of this game.
I am going to go with my heart on this one, so I got to say Bears. Although
You're
I
going
do
with
think
the Bears.
taking the Rams up and sticking them in 18-degree outside weather and snowy Chicago is going to give the Bears an advantage. I think them riding their high from that last win. I think they came back 21 points in the fourth quarter that they made up and won the game. That is a hell of a high to be riding.
They did.
So I'm going Bears. I'm going to say 23-20 because I do think it's going to be a nail biter.
I am going to say the score is much higher than that because both secondaries absolutely suck at covering wide receivers. I'm going to say 37-31.
Wow, you're going way high on that one. Okay.
Rams in this one. Devontae Adams should have, I think Puka's going to find the end zone. I think Devontae should have at least 2 touchdowns in this game. I would be surprised if the Rams even get stopped from putting points on the board on any one of their at least first half drives. And they should be scoring at will. And Will's in trouble. All right. So I'm saying 37-31 Rams. What's the score for yours?
I said 23-20 Bears.
23-20 Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Holding that offense to only 20 points. That would be impressive. You're relying on the cold. Sure. Why not? It's going to be a fun game to watch. I'll tell you that much.
It's going to be a nail biter. That's for sure.
I like it. I think that will be that'll definitely be the highest scoring game. We're talking Rams Bears this weekend, but yeah, I like it. So let's run down who we got for all the games and the scores to go with them. You got that?
Yeah, we both picked the Broncos. I said 34-30. You said 24-17.
Right.
We both picked Seahawks over the 49ers. Okay. I said 17-3. You said 27-23. I said Patriots 14-9. You said Texans 17-13. I said Bears 23-20, and you say Rams 37-31. So we picked half the same and half different.
All right, we'll put those on the S3 accounts and at Smart Side on X as well. So everybody keep track of me getting my ass kicked once again by Ms. Lady. I'm 5-1 last week, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that deserves like one hell of a ride. Hold on. You did that. 5-1 last week with her locks, so it was pretty damn good. All right, what's next?
JD's DFS lineups.
All right, let's make some freaking money this week with some DFS lineups. I use DraftKings. The numbers might be a little different. They actually should be a little bit different on FanDuel. Let's hit up the Bills Broncos showdown. There, we've got a showdown for every game, and then we've got the entire weekend slate. There's a Millie contest. So maybe, just maybe, this is the weekend we hit the $1 million game. Only costs like $25 to get into the Millie on DraftKings. I'll give you my lineup that I'm projecting right now. If there are any changes to any one of these lineups that I'm about to give you, I will post them on our social handles. All right, so the Bills Broncos showdown. Some little fun facts: the Buffalo Bills are ranked 25th in the NFL this season for fantasy points allowed to running backs. Broncos are the number 1 defense in the NFL in fantasy points allowed to running backs. So I'm staying away from James Cook this weekend. My captain is a running back, RJ Harvey for Denver. Cost $14.4. I do have somehow, some way, Josh Allen is going to put his Superman on, not win this weekend, but he's going to do everything he can, again, to put the team on his back. So I've got Josh Allen, Buffalo. That costs $12,000. I also have quarterback Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos at 10-8. I've got both defenses in this one because, well, I use some of the most expensive players with both quarterbacks and RJ Harvey at my captain spot. So I've got both defenses. The Broncos cost $3,800. The Bills cost $3,600. Play them both. Hopefully they can get you some positive points. I do have kicker Will Lutz to close out my lineup for this game at $5,000. I think Will Lutz will probably give you easily 10 points this weekend, which is good for a $5,000 cost. Again, my captain is RJ Harvey, 14-4. I got Josh Allen at $12,000. I got Bo Nix at 10-8. I've got the Broncos and Bills defense, 3,800 and 3,600 respectively. And I've got kicker Will Lutz for $5,000. All right, the 49ers and the Seahawks showdown. Some fun facts. San Francisco is ranked 19th in the NFL in allowing fantasy points to wide receivers. They also rank 25th against tight ends. Seattle is ranked 22nd in fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends. And again, George Kittle is no longer a factor
on the board. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got captain, one of our favorites. We know him. Well, I've spoken to him. I know his brother a lot better. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Shout out to his brother, Cannon Smith and Jigba. Great guy, great brothers just in general. Obviously, he's a wide receiver for Seattle. Costs a pretty penny, 17-1 for that captain spot. Also, I've got running back Christian McCaffrey at 11-8. It's going to chew up a ton of your money. So I put in a pair of kickers. Jason Myers is usually around about 10, 11 points per game for Seattle at 5, and Eddie Pinheiro, who's right around the 9 points per game for the Niners at 4,800. Tight end Jake Tongas rounds out my DFS team for this matchup. Again, the last time Tongas started a game was week 17. They used him a lot, threw at him 9 times. He caught 7 for, I think it was like 60 yards and a touchdown. So look for him to play a major role this weekend. And he's cheap at 4,400. Yeah, he had 19 fantasy points. If you can get 19 to 20 fantasy points out of somebody that costs you less than $5,000, that's pretty damn good. Put him on the board. So again, my captain for this lineup is Jackson Smith and Jigba. I've got Christian McCaffrey, kickers Jason Myers and Eddie Pinheiro, and I've got tight end Jake Tongas to round out that lineup. The Texans Patriots showdown. Here's some quick notes. Patriots cornerback again, Christian Gonzalez, who is in concussion protocol, was listed as a full participant on the Patriots site today. Pats are ranked 21st in fantasy points allowed per game for tight ends. The Texans defense is ranked 2nd in fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks. So, I mean, if anybody can put together a solid playbook for Drake May, it is their offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. So I've got my captain is not going to be Drake May. It's actually going to be wide receiver Christian Kirk for Houston, especially with them missing their number one wide receiver. He will not be playing this week. We've already mentioned that. I've got quarterback Drake May for New England at 11-2. Christian Kirk, by the way, was actually pretty cheap for a captain spot at 9,300. I've got both New England running backs. I've got Ramondre Stevenson at $8,000 and Travion Henderson at 7,400. Both running backs actually have extreme value coming out of the backfield. 2 catch passes. Ramondre Stevenson's been turning it on in the passing game. Pretty damn good most of the second half of the season and last week as well. I've got wide receiver Jaden Higgins for Houston at 7,200. And again, tight end Dalton Schultz for Houston, 5,600. Pats again ranked 21st in fantasy points allowed per game. 2 tight ends. You have to have Dalton Schultz in your lineup. I almost put him in as my captain so I could pick up some more value. But the way Christian Kirk went off last week,
right?
I think, yeah, I'd be stupid not to put him in there. And 9,300 for a captain spot is not bad at all. So I didn't have to put any kickers or defense in that lineup. So again, my captain for this lineup, this showdown game is wide receiver Christian Kirk. I've got Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, wide receiver Jaden Higgins for Houston, and I've got tight end Dalton Schultz to complete that lineup. For the Rams and Bears showdown, this game is just going to be fun all around. But I went LA heavy in this. The Bears are ranked 31st in fantasy points allowed to opposing wide receivers. They are also ranked 30th in fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks.
Oh my.
Rams are not great in all positions. They are actually ranked 24th in fantasy points allowed to opposing wide receivers. This is good news for Caleb Williams. So for my captain spot, I went with Devontae Adams. I think he'll see the end zone at least twice in this game. I may even put him down for more than one touchdown in this game on my side bets. I do have the best offensive player in the entire league in this lineup. I've got Puka Nacua for the Rams at $12,000. And then obviously if I expect Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua to have good games, you got to have quarterback Matthew Stafford as well in your lineup at 10-6. Now with those three being in your lineup, that eats up a ton of your budget. So I went with wide receiver Luther Burden, the third, by the way, for Chicago at 5,600. I also went with kicker Harrison Mevis for the Rams at $5,000. But I also threw in wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus for Chicago at 2,800. He found the end zone last week. I think he can do it again. That's pretty much his only value. He's only going to get a couple opportunities in this game, even though, again, the Rams are ranked 24th in fantasy points allowed to opposing wide receivers. I expect DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, who, again, are both questionable, but they were limited participants. They should be playing in this game, and they're going to get most of the looks, along with their rookie tight end, Loveland, who I couldn't squeeze him in this game, in this lineup. My DraftKings 4-game for the Millie. I'm playing the Millie this weekend. DraftKings 4-game playoff weekend contest. My quarterback is going to be Matthew Stafford. Bears ranked 31st in fantasy points allowed to opposing wide receivers, and they are ranked 30th in fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks. So I'd be stupid not to have Matthew Stafford as my starting quarterback in this lineup. I've got running backs R.J. Harvey, because the Bills are ranked 25th in fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs. So I got R.J. Harvey. I've got Kyle Williams, who I believe will either him or Corum. I could have picked any one of them in here, but I think that the Rams will not have any problems moving the ball down the field. And when it's not going to be a receiver, I mean, Kyle Williams can definitely run the ball inside the 5 when they get there. Wide receivers, I've got Puka Nacua. I've got Jackson Smith and Jigba. I've got Olamide Zaccheaus. Hopefully he can get at least one score for me. Again, he's cheap. He's definitely cheap, but he found the end zone last week. Let's see if he can do it 2 weeks in a row and get you between 7 and 10 points as a cheap guy. Again, another cheap guy, but extremely important. I got Jake Tongas at tight end. The last time, again, he had a full start for San Francisco. He had 19 fantasy points. They threw to him 9 times. He caught 7 for 60. So I think that's a solid pickup. The Patriots, one of their struggles is covering opposing tight ends. So I've got Dalton Schultz in there as well. Now, with this big lineup that I have, very expensive players, the only defense I could go with would be the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm just hoping that they can mount some type of positive point value for me. Just give me like 5 points. Can we do that? Can you give me 4 to 5 points and let everybody else go off that I have in this lineup? Again, Matthew Stafford, R.J. Harvey, Kyle Williams, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Olamide Zaccheaus, Jake Tongas, who will have a good game. I do like that pick. Tight end Dalton Schultz, he will have a good game. Could be, unfortunately, for the Patriots. And then I was stuck with the only defense that was left because of the lineup that I built with the 49ers. So I'm just hoping maybe they can get a couple sacks and a pass-deflected interception. All right, what's next?
Temperature of the suns.
Starting to warm up here in the valley. We're in the 70-degree range right now. So I'm kind of liking it.
I got to put those cactus back outside.
I am, yeah. Get your cactuses back outside. ESPN currently has the Phoenix Suns ranked 8th in their latest power rankings, which is not bad considering it was the ESPN bet that predicted the Suns over-under win total at 31.5, which proves to you that you really don't need to know what the hell you're talking about to give advice on sports. All right?
It is all
So,
just wild guessing when we get to the root of it.
It is, you know,
Be clear.
and then the people that are wrong shut up, and then the people that are right tell everybody that they were right. So
Sometimes I might be educated, but it's still just a guess.
the Suns currently have a 24-16 record, sitting in 7th place in the Western Conference, just a half a game behind the Houston Rockets.
Nice.
They have won 7 of their last 10 games. They are currently 1 game into a very tough 6-game road trip. They lost their last game in Miami to the Heat, 127-121. They are in Detroit tonight to take on the Pistons. Another tough game. Detroit's got a very young squad that looks really, really good. So hopefully they can pull off that upset. But then they got to go to New York. They got to take on the Knicks, the Nets, and then down to Philly for the 76ers and to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. These are all winnable games, but they're going to be tough. Like, this is not an easy road trip. Then we turn home on the 25th against the Miami Heat, who, again, they just lost to. Suns guard Jalen Green is progressing toward his return from a lingering hamstring injury that has had him out most of the season. He's only played in 2 games this season. The last was on November 8th against the Clippers, where he actually only managed 7 minutes of play before he came out due to aggravation of his right hamstring strain. The only other game he played in was on November 6th, where he played 23 minutes, scored 29 points. This is what's expected from Jalen Green when he's healthy. Again, It's kind of amazing that the Suns are actually where they're at, even without Jalen Green, because he was a major trade piece in moving Kevin Durant with Brooks. Well, Brooks came over from Houston. Brooks has been balling out as well. Jalen Green, a healthy Jalen Green, could help. At least the Phoenix Suns not worry about playing in the damn play-in tournament, which I hate. I hate the play-in tournament. But anyway, he is taking part currently in 5-on-5 games mixed with players and coaches, according to head coach Jordan Ott. There is a chance that Green could join the team when they head to New York against the Knicks and Nets. So there is that possibility. He's almost ready to come back. He may even be making flight plans right now. I've been keeping a close eye on the site. This is, of course, pending that he stays healthy during his workouts over the next day or two. All right, what's next?
Nailed it.
All right, so this is something we like to do to kind of end our show. We've been talking sports the whole show. So now, for you loyal followers, you get to hear me sing horribly. So basically the way it works is I will sing the lyrics of up to 4 classic rock songs. You get a half a point for the title and a half a point for the artist. The goal is to get a total out of 3 points to win. You do get 1 pass, which is worth a full point, but you can't win on a pass. You must wait for my awesomeness to finish. Prior to giving an answer, you'll always know when I'm finished because I say the words, nailed it. If you want to compete in Nailed It, you want to be a guest, you can only be prize eligible if you live in the Phoenix area, because the prizes aren't worth really putting them in the mail. Usually some DVDs and stuff that we have laying on the side. But good movie, so. All right, so last week you won. Nailed it. Knocking out the 70s edition.
I did.
So the start of every month, you can choose from 70s, 80s, 90s, or a mix of all 3. And today you chose a mix. All right. Most of them might be from the 70s. They might be from the 80s. They may be from the 90s. But there is a mix of at least a couple decades in here.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am as ready as I'm going to be.
For song number 1.
Okay.
Here we go. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face. Big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place. Nailed it.
So Queen, I'm not 100% sure I know the name of the song properly. I would just We Will Rock You is what
That is it.
think. Okay.
Full point. Full point.
We will.
That one was a little easy.
We will rock you.
I mean, that was easy, right? I gotta stop. I gotta stop giving you little soft.
He's not gonna do Queen anymore.
That's
what's gonna end up happening.
You usually nail. You
like
like Queen.
Obscure songs, maybe. I love Queen.
All right, song number 2. Again, half point for the artist, half point for the title of the song. For those of you listening, I know you love my voice. It is awesome. All right, here we go. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. all my dreams pass before my eyes with curiosity. Nailed it.
Dust in the wind.
Yes. Who sings it though?
Shit, that's the part I'm not as sure I know.
You said the S.
I'm going to wildly guess Kansas. I'm not sure though.
That is it.
It is it.
Oh,
Yay.
Point. You
I
have
love
2
that
points,
song.
which means your pass is taken away because you can't win on a pass.
Right. That was the
All
first
right.
song I ever scored platinum on my singing.
Nice. Just throwing out answers and getting them right. Again, 5-1 on her locks last week. So now she actually knows what she's doing with that. All right. It's just because my voice is so awesome that it's just like listening to the original recording. All right. Song number 3. You have 2 songs left. You only need 1 point. Your pass is gone because, again, you can't win on a pass. All right. Song number 3. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
I'm so happy because today I found my friends. They're in my head. True story. I'm so ugly, but that's okay because so are you. We broke our mirrors Sunday morning every day for all I care. And I'm not scared. Light my candles in the days because I found God. Yeah. Nailed it.
I want to say Come As You Are.
No, that's not it.
That's
Do you have a
not the
guess
actual
on
proper-
who the artist is?
Nirvana?
It is Nirvana.
Okay.
All right, so your final song,
half.
you need a half a point. You either need...
Well, tell me which one that was the song.
Oh, that was Lithium.
Lithium.
Lithium by Nirvana,
Okay.
which we will never use again. All right, song number 4, the final song before we close it out. You need a half a point. You need either the artist or the title on this song to take home victory 2 straight weeks. Song number 4. I never meant to be so bad to you. One thing I said that I would never do. A look from you and I would fall from grace. And that would wipe the smile right from my face. Nailed it. You need the song title or the artist to take home victory for the 2nd straight week. Who you got?
Oh my God, the song's in my head, but the words won't come out.
Oh no, she gonna fall a half a point short.
I am. Heat of the moment.
Yes, that is the title of the song.
Doesn't even
Pulls
matter
it
if I know
out.
who sings it now.
Any guess on the artist at all?
I don't think my brain's gonna go there.
You don't need it.
80s.
You won. It's
It was
Asia.
80s. Asia. Okay.
Asia sings it. You took home the win for the 2nd straight week. Lithium threw you for a knot, but you nailed everything else.
Yeah, the
again,
nonsense grunge rock names of their songs from that period of the 90s, I always screw it up. Same thing with
pretty
Stone
good.
Temple Pilots. They're hard to actually know the name of the song. It's nothing to do with anything in the
I
song.
figured you would know 90s more. Like I'm more of a 70s, maybe 80s guy. I mean, I know a lot of music.
I was bad with the names of things, but like if the name is in the refrain of the song, I have a much stronger chance of actually.
You know what, though? People ask me where we came up with this segment. I want to give a shout out to David Mahoney, host on 100.7 KSLX Classic Rock Station. They do something similar, but they actually play the real music. I don't have those music rights. We do not have those music rights. So you get to listen to my awesome singing to play that song. So shout out to them. Shout out to Audrey as well. David Mahoney, you can listen to them on 100.7 KSLX. The David Mahoney Show on Twitch as well. Big fans of theirs. Love them. But yeah, that's where we got the idea. So I basically took their idea and vanilla iced it. I tweaked it just a little bit to make it our own. And they can't say anything about it. But I will give credit where credit is due. Shout out to the damn fam, as we call ourselves out there. All right, so before we get out of here, if you've ever said, I want to do sports media, but I don't know where to start. This is your moment. I am actually hosting a free Sports Media X web class in the near future where I break down exactly how sports fans are turning podcast blogs and social content into real media brands and how you can do it too. No experience, no credentials, no gatekeepers. Go to coachaftermers.com/media to be notified for the next available Sports Media X web class and take your first step toward covering the sports you love instead of just watching from the couch. I am a credentialed media member here. I cover the Diamondbacks, cover Arizona State football, a little bit of baseball, and a little bit of NASCAR, and Arizona Rattlers. So I've been both photo and I've been in the press box for a lot of those, especially NASCAR. I freaking love NASCAR, but I don't think we're going to be covering NASCAR this year. So we'll see. Maybe might try and take in a couple of the tracks in Texas, maybe Coda or something like that, because we've never done that one. So, but if you want to build your own brand, look, it's getting tougher and tougher to get into sports media these days, because even if you've got like a journalism degree or a communications degree, those jobs are actually going to athletes now with very large followings. As if I was running a media company, I would want those followings to come to our brand as well. But that means that if you want access, you kind of have to do it on your own now. Or you got to know somebody, you got to have connections already. It's extremely tough, but I've been doing this for over a dozen years. I've covered well over 1,000 events as a credentialed media member. So I know the framework. I understand what they look for to be able to position you to help you get the access that you're looking for. No guarantees. There's only so many seats in the press box. But I mean, if an idiot like me can do it with a no-name brand, I mean, this is probably for the people that are tuning in. It's probably the first time you ever heard of me. So they're probably just tuning in for you. So most likely. Again, go to coachaftermers.com/media. Get signed up. You'll be notified when the next class is coming around, which should be next week, if I can get everything together on time. So we'll see you inside that. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for the S3 Podcast and Sports Media X. And also make sure you follow myself at SmartSide, SMAAHTSIDE, and Lady M at Lady M_S3 on X. Shout out also to our men and women in uniform, those serving, and those who have served. Lady M, what are the final words?
Keep loving sports.
That's the show for now. Shout out to the most badass military in the world and the toughest veterans to ever walk the planet. And as always, all you haters.